Hi, this is Happy Bird from happybirdsglitternest.blogspot.com, and today I'm going to show you how to make these beautiful little crosses out of nothing more than popsicle sticks, fabric, and 4mm adhesive bling from the Dollar Tree. So stay tuned and I'll show you exactly what I did. Okay, the popsicle sticks that I purchased were 4.5 inches long by 3/8 of an inch wide, and I cut them down to 4 inches in length and 3 inches in length. Okay, and all I did was take a pair of long blade scissors and I just cut the ends like that. Now I did paint these. You can use any kind of white chalk paint or multi-surface paint, and the paint I used was the Folk Art brand paint. It's a multi-surface paint in titanium white, and the finish is satin. Okay, and it's really good if you can find the satin finish because it works a lot better than the high gloss when it comes to gluing your cross pieces together like this. Okay, and I did put 2 coats on this, but it did dry quickly because I used a sponge, a triangle sponge, and I bought these in a package at the Dollar Tree. They're hanging up in the makeup section, and I just put a little paint down and just kind of dabbed it like that, and just did this all the way around, and it dried fairly quickly. Now you can tell it's not 100% perfect. There are some spots that I missed, and you might even see a little bit of runniness here and there. See right along here in the edge. But that's okay because basically I just wanted to give it a coat of white paint just so when I started wrapping the cross that everything was just even in one color underneath a light color. So that won't matter. Just be sure that you paint the ends. That part is important because you're going to see the ends. Okay? So with that said, go ahead and paint your pieces and make sure they're thoroughly dry. You might even want to do this a day ahead of time. Just cut all your pieces, paint them, and when they're totally dry, then we can put them together into crosses, and then we'll start decorating them. So go ahead and do that, and we'll be back. Okay, so we'll be gluing our little sticks together to make our cross, and you're going to find the middle right here of the arms, and you can either measure the arms and find the middle, or you can kind of just look at it and eyeball it. You don't want one arm that's longer and one arm that's shorter, so be very careful when you go to hot glue it. And I am using the Gorilla Glue hot glue sticks. And I'm going to set this right about here and making sure the arms are about where I want them to be. And if a little bit overflows like that, you can take a toothpick and do that. Just wipe it off. I'm just going to hold it though for a second, just until I feel like it clings. And remember, be sure to use the satin finish. Don't use any high gloss finish because it will give the sticks a little more tooth, and the hot glue seems to grab on much quicker. Okay, so this looks good. That's where we want. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is to prepare your strips. And I bought this fabric from Walmart about 2 years ago. And I just have it kind of rolled or folded up. And all I'm going to do is cut about 1/4 of an inch right here at the end. And it does not have to be perfect by any means, because we're just wrapping with it. And you can see that it is definitely not perfect, but this is just fine for what we need. You're going to do the same thing with some sparkly tulle. Now I bought this at Walmart, and actually I bought this a couple of years ago now, and it was during Halloween. They have all kinds of sparkly tulle because people are making princess costumes and all kinds of things. And so I thought this was really pretty. I thought you could use this actually any time of the year. And there's two different types of glitter on here. I mean, it's all silver, but as you can see, some are chunky and some are fine. So just find some tulle with a lot of glitter on it that you think would look really pretty to wrap around across, okay? And right now is the perfect time to be looking for this. In fact, I'm going to go back to Walmart and see what else they have in their tool section that is sparkly that I can pick up and use throughout the year. So you're going to do the same thing, cut 1/4 inch strips, okay? All right. Now, before we start wrapping our cross, we're going to be putting the bail on the back. And the reason why is so I can wrap the fabric around the bail, okay? Now this is just a small glue-on bail, and if you go to eBay or Etsy or one of those online places, just type in the words small glue-on bail. You can also use a medium glue-on bail. That would work just as fine. And as soon as you do that, a bunch of them will pop up. Just make sure to add the word glue on, or you won't get as many popping up, okay? So this part here is going to be the front. That's where the arms are kind of sitting back a little bit, okay? So we want to glue it on this side. And if you don't have a bail, you can use the 1/8 inch ribbon, and you can just do something like this, just kind of crisscross it, kind of fold it and crisscross it, and then you can glue that on the back, okay? That's just if you don't have any bails or you're trying to keep costs down. So I'm just going to put a little hot glue right here. And I'm going to set it right here. Normally I would have used a silver bail because my glitter here is silver, but I didn't have it. So all I had left in the smaller bails were gold. So I figured, well, I'll go ahead and use that anyway. Now it already feels bonded, but I'm just going to be putting a tiny amount glue around the edges here to seal it, and at the same time I'm going to quickly place this on the back, okay, just like that. I'm going to give it a few seconds to bond. All right. And when I said, you know, cut your pieces about 1/4 inch, they're not going to be perfect. It might be in between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, but just do the best you can. Okay, so now that's on there, so we're going to wrap it once. Kind of out of frame, sorry. All right, and we're just going to continue wrapping like this. And then when we get to the arms, we're going to go down like that. Okay, see how I did that? And we're just going to continue wrapping all the way down across. Now the fabric that I'm using, I found a print that had a lot going on, a small print that had a lot going on in it. We have the stripes and the flowers are fairly close together. And that's what you want, because if you pick up some shabby chic fabric where they might have the roses spaced wide apart and it's on a white background or something like that, you're not going to be able to see it very well on the cross. Okay, so now we're getting towards the bottom. So I'm going to wrap this around here, and we're always going to be finishing off or trying to finish off on the back, not the front. Okay, so just going to place this here and hold it for just a few seconds. Okay, turn this over, and I'm going to cut this right here. Okay, just like that. Don't worry about all these little fuzzies sticking out. We'll get to that a little bit later on. Okay, so now we're going to do the arms. And I think I'm going to use this piece for the arms. Cut this off, this little white piece here. Okay. And I'm going to start on the back. Put a little bit, thin amount of hot glue. You don't want a big giant blob, because then you'll see that blob right through this fabric. I should have moved that over a little bit more because you want it right here to the end. Yeah, okay, that's fine. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to start wrapping. Okay, so now we're up to here, so we are going to go across, okay, and just continue wrapping all the way down here to the end. And we're going to finish off here on the back. Put a little hot glue and just wrap it around and hold it there for a few seconds. Okay, and then turn your cross over and cut that piece off. Alright, so now we have the first part of it. Now, these little threads, sometimes people like the little threads hanging. They think it looks a little more shabby chic, but it bothers me, so I'm just going to cut those pieces off, but you can do what you want. I just want to clean it up a little bit. Okay. And it's not going to be perfect, but you can get little strings here and there and cut them off. Just like that. Detail scissors would probably work better, but I have those packed away. I'm in the process of moving, so half my crafts are packed up, and if I need something, I have to go digging through boxes, so. Okay. Alright, so that's good enough, I think. Okay, so now we're going to continue doing the same thing with the pieces of tulle, the glittered tulle. And I'm going to start at the top, just like I did before. And you're going to put just the tiniest amount of glue here because you don't want any blobby hot glue to show up. You just kind of pull it downwards so it, just give it a second or two. Okay, now you're just going to continue wrapping and see, this is what you want. You want a lot of glitter, but you want your pattern to be able to show through. And see how we're going down just like before. And that's really important to have, like I said, a colorful pattern, small print with a lot going on, so you can still see that pattern, see, right through the tool. Okay, now I'm going to have to do a little bit here, which is fine. We're on the back, so just spreading it out with my nozzle so there's not a ton. Okay, and I'm going to turn this over and snip this part off like that. Now, if you guys are bored watching me do the wrapping part, that's fine. You can go ahead and fast forward. Alright, so I'm going to start on the back again, just for this last little piece. There we go, and just gonna wrap around here and end up at the back again. And you see I'm just spreading this out with my nozzle. I'm not blobbing it on. Okay, let it sit for just a second here. Alright. Oh. Looks like I didn't get that part in the front. I thought I did, but okay, it's still hot enough where it will stick. Okay, so now what we have looks like this, but we're going to do the arms. So I'm going to grab another strip right here, and I'm going to start on the back right here, the end. Spread this hot glue out with your nozzle. Put this on here. Okay, whoops. It dried before I could even put it on. Okay. Spread it out. I guess I have to be a little bit quicker. There we go. Just gonna let it sit here for just a second. Alright. And I am using the Gorilla Glue sticks. You can buy them at Walmart or on Amazon. Okay, so we're going to go across the back, or the front, I should say. And we're going to be gluing something on here anyway. Okay, so I know this isn't the back, but we're going to have to finish it up here, I think. I'm going to flip this right over. Okay. And just one little piece. See, if I had cut these just a little bit longer, would have been okay. Okay. start on the back here. Spread this out a little. And, oops. Yeah, I'll start at this end. Yeah, wait a minute. Where did I put this? Oh. I guess. Huh? Okay. And I let it dry. Too long, I guess. When you have just a tiny bit of hot glue, you have to be faster than I am. Okay. And we're just going to continue wrapping it around. And I'm going to finish it off here on the back. And then just hold it for a few seconds. Okay. Okay. Alright. So this is the front. Ah, got hot glue on me. I normally don't have that much trouble wrapping. It goes pretty quickly, but of course I'm on camera, and so everything goes wrong that can go wrong. That's okay. Okay, so I did notice on the back of the cross that I left a little space here by accident that I didn't wrap with the tool. I don't know how it happened, but I just took a piece of tulle and just went like this crosswise and glued it on. One thing I love about this project is it is very forgiving, and if you do mess up, you can always go back and fix it. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be placing a rhinestone embellishment in the middle. Well, it doesn't have to be rhinestone. It can be acrylic or resin like this is. And I will include the link to the seller on my blog that I purchased this flower from. Keep in mind though, the seller is in China. I've received things from him anywhere from 3 weeks to 8 weeks. So, you know, it could take some time. So if you need it before that, you might want to consider using a seller from the United States. All you have to do is just type in the words on the eBay search bar, resin flower bead, or just resin flower, and there should be quite a few pop up. And once again, this is 25 millimeters in width, okay? And I just hot glued this on. And the reason why we are gluing the embellishment on first is because we want to be able to see how much room we have to wrap around the embellishment. Okay, so it's really important you put the embellishment on first. Here's another embellishment, and I purchased this a while back on AliExpress. I just typed in the words rhinestone buttons, and a whole bunch of really pretty buttons popped up. Now this is metal, it's not acrylic, so I'm going to add some E6000 along with my glue. A tube like this. And I'm putting it on this side. This is the front because you can see that the cross arms are receding back. Okay, so that's the front. And I am going to put just a dab of hot glue, and all that is going to do is hold this little piece on so it doesn't slide around while it dries. And I'm going to let this sit for about 24 hours, possibly a little longer, just depending on how well it grabs. I can already feel it kind of grabbing with the hot glue, so that's good. Now we just have to wait for the E6000 to dry. So like I said, I'm going to wait 24 hours before I come back and attempt to do any wrapping. Alright, so I'll be back. So as you can see, this is on here really tough, okay? And so now we're going to be using these little 4mm rhinestones, and this was packaged as one long piece. I bought this at the 99-cent store just recently. They also have them in a real pretty icy blue color. And if you notice, these adhesive rhinestones, they are 4mm, so they're smaller than the average rhinestone, and that's exactly what you need. So the first thing I did was I started here at the top, and I always like to start at the back, and I just put this on and started wrapping at kind of a diagonal like this. And I'm going behind the button, and I always like to end up on the back as well. So I'm going to pull this off right there. Now I like to put this on first, and then I go back, and if I have to make any adjustments I do, but what I like to do is go back and put a little dot of hot glue just to anchor it on both ends, okay? And I just kind of follow around with my finger like this to see where I ended up, and then I lift that up and put a little tiny dot of glue, nothing blobby. Okay, and then I'm going to go all the way down here, so starting at the back like this, and I'm just wrapping at a diagonal. Now you could certainly leave your cross just as is without this, but I just thought it looked really pretty. I thought it kind of reminded me of beadwork, kind of like faux type beadwork. Okay, and as you can see, we're going to have to finish this with another strand, but I'm going to once again anchor this at both ends before I do that. Here, and then here. Now some of you might be wondering about the glitter on this tool, whether it comes off or not. Very, very little glitter comes off of this tool. It's a pretty good quality. Now I will say that if you do have concerns about that, you can, before you put on your embellishment, just give it a shot of aerosol hairspray in the extra hold. You can get the White Rain brand at the Dollar Tree in the aerosol can, not the pump, but the aerosol, and it's unscented. So that's just a little tip. Okay, and then I'm going to grab some more rhinestones, and I'm just going to start right here where I finished up so it would look like a continuous line. And I think we're good about there. So let's go back and anchor this. There we go. And then right here at the end. And if you are bored watching me do this, then you can definitely skip ahead if you want. So we have this all the way down, so now we're going to do it from here to here, and then across here. So let's do that. I love the light pink color of these rhinestones too. I think they're so pretty. And we're going to start at the back. I'm going to start here on this one. And I'm going to wrap this on around like this. And I think that'll do it. Yeah, about like that. So let's see, we started here. Let's lift that up. And we ended here. And if you think you got a little too much, you can always take a toothpick and just kind of wipe it away. Okay, and then we'll continue on this arm. And since I have the diagonal going this way, I want to do the diagonal the opposite way here, okay? So I'm going to start this here on the back. And I'm going to wrap this around 3 times, just like I did the other one. And if you don't like it, you can always take it off and start again, which is another reason why you don't glue it down until you look at your work and you're happy with it. See, I can kind of move it over a little bit. Okay, I think that looks good. So we started here. I think, yeah, there we go. Actually, we ended here, but that's all right. We started here. Lift that up. There we go. Okay, so that's the back of the cross. So this is the front. And I think it turned out really pretty. I don't know if you can see it or not. Okay, so lastly, I'm going to take some 1/8 inch ribbon. It's silver lined. And I believe I bought this at Michael's a while back. Just going to cut that piece off. I don't know what that is. And just kind of measure about where you want it. And just slide this through the little bail like that. I do have a lighter pink that I could use as well for the ribbon at the top, but I just grabbed this. Okay. All right, and then there we go. And once again, I'll have the links to both of the buttons on my blog. I actually did find the eBay seller that I purchased this from. So while I was filming anyway, in between breaks. So I hope you really enjoyed this, and I hope you give it a try. And come join my Facebook group and show me pics of the ones you've made. And all that information will be below in the drop-down bar. And just go to Happy Bird's Glitter Nest on Facebook and click to join. All right. So with that said, you take care, and God bless each and every one of you. Bye-bye.